Well, hello friends, and welcome to Meet My Dog. And I have a very special dog that I would like you to meet. Now, I have to tell you that I have met this dog before. In fact, this dog is a very close friend of mine. And you can see him right here. This is Howy, is the dog. And this is my friend Tony. How are you doing, Tony?
I'm doing well, thank you, Joe.
All right. So, Tony, tell me about your dog. Obviously, he's got something special going on here.
Howy is my guide dog. He's a seeing eye dog. There are many guide dog schools, but he's from the seeing eye. And he's probably the best one I've ever had. I've had 6, and he is the best.
Now, one thing I love to do is play Guess the Breed. And this is where I try to guess the breed of the dog. Now, looking at Howy, he looks like a black lab, but he's got a little retriever in him. But if he stood up, he's short. How much does Howy weigh?
46 pounds.
46 pounds. Okay, so he's a little small for either of those breeds. How did I do? A retriever lab? What's going on here with this guy?
He is a retriever lab. He is a black lab and a golden retriever mix.
Okay, but he's a little shorter than most labs and retrievers, isn't he?
His sister was even smaller than he was.
Really? Interesting. Now, how long have you had Howy?
A little over 3 years.
Okay, and how old is he?
6 years old.
Okay, and obviously Howy is a working dog, right?
He is. Look how great he's just laying there and not moving, really doing a great job.
Now, you made a distinction between a guide dog and a seeing eye dog. I think people use those terms interchangeably. What's up with that?
Well, you know, they see a lot of publicity on seeing eye, but they don't see other guide dog schools. Almost every state now has a guide dog school to teach dogs to guide the blind. But the seeing eye is the first, 1927, and they're the best.
And so he came from a Seeing Eye Institute right here in New Jersey, right?
Morristown.
Morristown, okay. All right. So now when Howy, this is his harness, right? And he guides you.
He does.
And tell me a little bit, when Howy's in harness, he's working, right?
He is working.
And can you help our friends watching understand a little bit about protocol? I mean, how should you approach a working dog, being whether it's a guide dog, a therapy dog, any dog that's working? How does that work?
The point is, you shouldn't approach them at all. You should ignore them. I tell my children that when Howy has his harness on, he's invisible. You don't see him. You shouldn't look at him. You shouldn't talk to him. You shouldn't make any contact with him at all. Even though he may be laying down, not moving, it's really not your call whether he's working or not. It's my call, and he has to be alert at all times.
Okay. Now, can people meet your dog?
They can if they talk to me. Don't ask me what's your dog's name. If they talk to me and I'm at an opportunity where I can take his harness off, then they can meet my dog.
So if I'm approaching your dog, or if my child, and I bet that happens a lot, if a child is approaching your dog, the protocol would be to speak to you and maybe keep their hands in their pockets or behind their back. Don't try to reach out and pet the dog.
Right, but I have very little trouble with children. I have a lot more trouble with adults.
Okay, so now when Howy's in harness, like he is now, he's working and should not be approached or touched, right?
Correct.
Okay. But
or spoken to.
Or spoken to. So don't give commands, don't say hi dog or anything like that. Okay. All right. But when Howy's out of harness.
Totally different dog.
Totally different. Okay. Now, can you show us the difference between working Howy and not working Howy?
Okay, buddy.
So we take the harness off. He's so obedient.
Okay, buddy.
And look at this dog. See, he knows me, so he comes to me. And
but it wouldn't matter.
It's like he comes alive and the tail starts wagging. That's a good boy. Yeah, can I have a kiss? That's a good boy. Howy's a great dog, and like I told you, I know Howy very well, and Howy knows me. And you can see he's not very big, 42 pounds?
46.
46 pounds, but he's short for his breed, which is really interesting. And now, Tony, how long does it take to train a dog to be a guide dog or a seeing eye dog?
Well, they live with a family as puppies for 12 to 14 months. Then they go back and train at the seeing eye with a trainer for 4 months, and then they're given to a person that's in class and train for 2 to 3 weeks.
Wow.
And then they go home, and if there's a problem in their neighborhood, or the client wants to be oriented to the neighborhood, the seeing eye will send someone to do that in their neighborhood.
Wow. And how long do guide dogs or seeing eye dogs usually work? When do they retire? Do they work their whole lives?
They come to a client now a lot later than they used to. My first guide dog I got when she was 16 months old. And I got Howy when he was 22 months old. And now I understand they're even coming later. But they usually work until they're 8 years old. 8, okay. And they get tired. They get tired.
Yeah. And then
it's pretty stressful job.
Tell me a little bit about that. What's stressful about it?
Well, this dog has to memorize all the environments that I go in. I certainly give him directions, but he learns the environments. He learns where I go. He learns to avoid different things. And of course, you know the sighted world. They're constantly moving things.
We are.
So he learns to avoid them, or he learns to show me them. Sidewalks are horrendous. So he has to show me every up and down, every bad spot in the sidewalk. And he learns all of this, and he remembers it. Some of the dogs. He is a tremendous guide dog. He is the best one out of 6 that I've ever had.
Now, Tony, I know that you're very active in your church. How does Howy help you in your ministry at church?
Well, he certainly helps me get around the building. And he's a love. So
I can see that. Yes, he's got his head on my knee right now, looking for some love, and he's getting it.
So when I'm teaching, I keep him in harness, and he just lays there. When I finish teaching and take him out of harness, he relates to the children, he relates to the adults, and because he relates to them, they relate to me. And that it's actually a bonus. It's not his job, but it's a bonus because people want to see him, they want to meet him, children want to meet him, and while they're petting him, I'm talking to them.
Yeah, so he opens doors for you.
He does.
In more ways than one.
He does.
Well, that's great. Well, Tony, thank you very much. I'd like to shake your hand. Thanks for being with us, and Howy, you are such a good boy. So thanks for being with us on another episode of Meet My Dog. I ask if you'd spread the word and hit that like and subscribe button, and hope to see you again on the next episode of Meet My Dog. Tony, thanks for letting me meet your dog.
You're welcome, Joe.
Okay, take care.